We thought it was.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm still bitter a little bit. Oh, she's not invited anymore.
Hello, and welcome to Fourth Wheel Podcast with your favorite throuple. I'm Cam, and I'm joined with my partners,
Will
and Paige.
And today our fourth wheel guest is my good friend from high school, Lex, who is also bisexual, married in a traditional hetero relationship with her high school sweetheart, and has had her own journey into kind of the non-traditional and exploring her own sexuality. So we look forward to hearing more about her story and answering some of y'all's questions and some of her questions about us, as usual. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We are so thrilled to have you. Well, to kick us off, I know one of the first times early on in, my relationship with Will and Paige, and when I first started really posting on social media, you had at one point sent me a message kind of asking how I felt so comfortable sharing my sexuality in a public manner, and had expressed your own struggles with that. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and kind of when did you know that you were bisexual, and how long have you tried to navigate that and incorporate it into your life?
I don't even know where to start. I discovered I was bisexual in middle school. I had like a flicker, and I didn't realize what it was necessarily. And then it kind of just went away. And then high school, I had more experience to explore. And that's also when I met my husband. So he knew right away, when we started our relationship, that was part of who I am.
So he was real pumped early on.
Probably, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, yeah. After we were together for a month, he said he was going to marry me. So that probably helped.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, how long have you been married?
We've been married for 15 years, but together longer than not. He was at my 15th birthday party.
Oh, I love that.
I know, but it sounds kind of creepy now when I look back.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
just
he
a
was
little.
he was also 15. It's
Yes,
not like he was
right.
his current
Yes,
age.
you're yes, you're right. He was, I was 15, he was 16. So we were children, which is now, that's weird too. It's fine.
Now you have grown and evolved together over
exactly.
time. Now, at what point in your relationship, since you guys have been together for so long now and through various stages of adulthood, but from the point early on where you knew about your bisexuality, at what point did that start to incorporate into your relationship? If it did, obviously I know that it did at some point, but was it part of the early on equation, or was it more later into an established marriage and adulthood?
It was later. I know when we first started dating and as we got older, I would joke about it. What if we had a girlfriend? And it was always just kind of a joke. And then there were a few times where we took breaks and we were not together. And that's really when I got to experience different things with my sexuality. But yeah, once we were back together.
How long were those breaks usually, if you don't mind me asking?
6-month breaks. When he turned 21, and then while we were still in high school.
Did he propose these breaks, or was it mutual? Or?
Oh no, it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm still bitter a little bit.
At least you're honest about it.
He turned 21 and then I was only 20, so I was not cool. Right? Yeah.
And there was 6 months. Does
But
your birthday happen to be 6 months after his?
No, we're 4 days apart.
What?
Yeah.
He turned 21 and then he couldn't wait 4 days for you to be cool.
No,
a year.
yeah, a
A
year
year and 4
and-
days.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what, 4 days?
No, it was a year and 4 days.
I'm too cool for you now.
Yeah.
Well, those sound, I think breaks can be healthy.
Yeah, I don't know if we would still be together if we didn't have those little breaks. I think they were necessary for sure.
Yeah. And so you got to explore during those breaks?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? What was your first experience like?
I went to visit a friend in college, out of state, and drinking, having fun, and one thing led to another.
A girlfriend, I assume.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Now, at the time, was this like purely let's do this to explore and kind of experiment?
Mm-hmm.
Or was there an actual, and obviously there's an emotional connection because you're friends and you probably share some sort of love on a friendship level with her, obviously. But I know a lot of my early on experiences with my sexuality were purely for shits and giggles more. And there was definitely no emotion involved for me. And I had no clue what I was doing. So it was more about like, oh, I feel sexy doing this. So I'm going to roll with it and have the experience. But I didn't really let that sink in that was part of my true nature yet. And it wasn't until after my divorce, really, where I had more intentional experiences with other women that were in fact bisexual that led me to have a larger appreciation for those experiences and how I was navigating them and how I was incorporating that into my romantic life. Even though I wasn't necessarily feeling an emotional component there was definitely still a great vibe. But as I've made clear many times before, like Paige has kind of been the sole, like real strong, like emotional connection plus the physical attraction on top of it. So were those initial experiences for you more of a exploration and I want to kind of dig into this, but it's not that you were emotionally drawn to dating them necessarily, but you wanted to explore the physicality of it?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like initially it was just like exploring or this was fun or I feel sexy. And yeah, with a friend, it just felt comfortable like to explore like that. But yeah, we had like feelings for friendship, but nothing more than that. It's really when my husband and I started dating together, did I like truly explore and then build those connections.
Ooh, so how did those initial conversations go?
And I'm very interested in these conversations because, especially since he knew so early on, and at such a young age, like I don't know how I would have reacted at 15 or at 16 if my girlfriend at the time would have been like, oh, by the way, I also like girls. I would have like,
Right.
and like I have no idea how I would have reacted. Probably stoked, but it's interesting because like it's something that like Paige kind of came to terms and understanding like throughout our relationship. So it's like the light bulb switched at the same time, whereas it feels like there's kind of always like a possibility of exploring this because of your known history. So
No, I want to like touch base on that because I think at the beginning it was cool, right? Like, ooh, like 2 chicks, right? One day. And at the beginning, yes, I agree. That's probably how it was. But when we got more serious, then he told me, like, well, now it's not just like other guys you might see and be like, ooh, it's like other girls.
I got to worry about everyone.
No one is safe.
No.
Right. Yeah. And so he was like, I always knew and it was fine. He was like, because if we're like sitting at a table and someone walks by and I see them first, he's like, oh, I know she thinks she's hot. Because I apparently like make a face or I like look at them and then he like knows like, oh, something good is coming. And then he looks and I'm like, great. I'm not good at keeping secrets.
Do you ever see him get disappointed, like non-verbally whenever like it's a dude that walks by?
Like me?
Well, like, because if you're like, I assume you're doing this
Oh.
reaction to both men and women.
Not really.
No, it's
No,
only when you see a hot
yeah.
girl.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of similar, and it might just be because of the men in our area. There's very specific types of men in the Texas area.
Absolutely agree.
It's not super diverse in what they look like, so it's like another guy walks by and it's like, whatever, it's just another guy.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's really ever caught me checking out a guy. It's usually a woman.
We do have lots of beautiful women though.
Oh, for sure.
So you were kind of expanding on how his understanding of what bisexual meant went from, oh, dope, 2 chicks to, oh no, I now have competition and I have to even be better, because it's one thing to compete against dudes. Also, I get in trouble all the time from friends that listen to this for dude bashing too much, and I kind of feel bad, but hey, step up. It's easy to compete against other guys, in my opinion.
He's not
How do you beat Cam?
right. He's like not shy about like that department, right? Like against another guy, he knows it's him, for me at least. But yeah, a woman brings like a whole different aspect, and that I think has been a little scary sometimes for him.
How did those first experiences go together? Did you guys start by dating separately or always together?
Always together.
Okay.
First, I want to ask,
Sure.
how long into y'all's relationship, and I assume marriage, or at what, like, give us a little rundown of what's the timeline look like here? When did you guys approach that, and what did that initial conversation look like?
Okay. So we joked about, or I joked about it, and he's the type of person who doesn't like. Yes, he jokes, but when he makes his mind up, he does it. And I will think of something and think about it, worry about it, play out all the scenarios, maybe do it. But he's like, just jumps right in. And so I joked about it, one too many times, and he was like, "Why don't we do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Right? Like, and it was scary and exciting. And so, yeah, that's how we did that. Or that's how we began. And it was like 8 years ago. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I think that a lot of people take that approach when trying to navigate those first conversations of how to potentially, if you've lived in a traditional relationship for a long-standing amount of time, and there is this part of you that you want to explore further, and you want to do that with your existing partner, but you are unsure of how to pose the question or how to open up the conversation. I think it's very natural to default to that kind of, oh, I'm just going to insert a little passive joke here and see what the response is. And then, kind of come back or judging on how the response goes, maybe it actually turns into a real conversation. But I hear that a lot, that people don't know how to navigate those conversations. And it is awkward. It is a challenge, and it is scary, right? When you don't want to put a good relationship on the line that is solid, but you also know that there's so much room for it could be even better. How good can it get, right? Like, we are never capped on that. We can make a great thing even better at times. And being brave enough to have those conversations, even if it is leading in that kind of soft lob of, bringing up a joke a time or two to see what the response is, to make you feel comfortable enough to have that genuine conversation about it. And good on him for receiving it no, I know she's really actually serious about this, so I'm going to take the lead and give her the pass, and I'm going to help foster this.
Yeah,
So
that's
good
exactly
on
how
him.
it was. Yeah, oh, for sure.
It helps whenever he's known her since she was 15.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a big help.
You do. It's so important to know your partner and know their communication styles, and know, at least in this case, he already knew that this was a part of who you were.
Right.
And obviously he has so much love for you in wanting to be able to see you get to experience that and to share it with you in those contexts. So, I'm very happy that you guys have gone down the path.
Me too.
And if you're ready, would love to hear more about how those first experiences went, or how you navigated finding them.
Yeah, let's
Sure.
I want to finish out that conversation. Actually, let's hear more about that initial conversation. So he comes with you and he's like, "Look, I get that you're making jokes about this,
Right.
but I also know you, so it's not jokes. So what's up?"
Well, he was just like, "Why don't we try it?" And I was like, "Okay, all right, like let's do it." And it was at a point we'd been married, I don't know, a few years, multiple years, but together forever. But it was like after we had kids, and I finally felt like my body was my own again. So like we have 2 kids, and so had a baby, breastfed, second kid. And then it's like I felt like I was back to myself. And that was like the perfect timing to step into this. And he could tell like I was ready because, it takes a while to like come back to feeling normal. So we got on Bumble, and I like chicken out. So I let him do the Bumble page. and I'm also like not very persistent. Like I'll get discouraged easily, and then I'm just like, whatever, I'm fine. And so he's the one who's very persistent. And so like he maintained it, and then he would like show me like, oh, look, we matched or whatever.
Very similar.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing to call out because, Will and Paige were the same way. Will ran their profile and Paige was very hands off. And I think probably a lot of women or unicorns in general are going to be hesitant when they know that it's a man running an account because they assume, quite rightly so, that maybe these men are not doing it with, in good faith with their partners, or that they're not being honest about, the setup. And so I think women have to be very cautious about that. But this is a prime example of no, this is legit. There are couples out there looking very hard, but you may have men running these accounts and navigating those initial first steps simply because the women genuinely need or want to take that back seat and then just take what's presented in front of them that's been vetted by their partner already.
So you kind of talked about how you chicken out, right?
I do.
What's the reasoning behind that? Because for our viewers or our listeners that can't be viewers, Lex has no reason to chicken out. She is gorgeous. So she has no reason to lack confidence in that area. So what is it that would make you hesitant about pursuing this with your husband?
Probably just like what other people think. Like if when we come across people that we know, I'm like, like I used to care way more like what people think or like how they would perceive me. And like as I've gotten older and more comfortable with myself, I don't have that holding me back as much. But yeah, I just get scared.
Have you come across a lot of people on?
A couple, yeah.
I think Cam might have said something earlier.
Yeah, no, they came across my profile.
Yeah, we saw Cam.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't know.
But y'all came across my profile on Bumble, right?
Yes. Bumble's been the best one for us.
And that's so funny because, a lot of people, particularly on TikTok recently, have been asking me, where did I find my couple? Where do we go to find, our third? I have so many followers that are looking for their third and not having luck on some of the more specific apps that are designed for this type of relationship. But Bumble has been smart as kind of one of the more mainstream dating apps that has been one of the first to kind of open up those alternative profile types and relationship goals where that they can set that, and then being able to have those couple profiles on there. And so that I presume then you get shown to a much broader audience, because I know when I first came across my first couple profile, I did not have, on Bumble, you can select whether you're looking for men or women or both. And I just had it filtered for men. But clearly I had swiped through all the men in North Texas. And then they're like, well, here, we've run out of other things to show you.
Try
So
this.
check out these couple profiles.
So interesting enough, right? Because I was about to bring up how when we were still, Paige and I were still in the unicorn game, that at one point I had talked about making a Bumble profile, and I had created it, and like it had just been published like in a couple minutes. And then she was like, no, never mind.
Yeah, I did kind of chicken out a little bit with Bumble, even though we had been on Field for a bit.
Huh.
Yeah.
I feel like Field is more low key. I feel like everybody knows about Bumble.
And and it's more of like, the reasoning she gave, I don't know if you remember it, Paige, but she was like, I have a lot of coworkers that are on here, And just in general, there's more mainstream people who are looking for relationships in a traditional sense, so it's not taboo. Whereas Field, when you come across someone on Field, you're like, you're a freak and I know it too. So you can't judge me.
Yeah,
You can't judge me because
there's
you're here.
equal-
You're
yes,
here.
I agree with that.
That's very true. Well, especially after finding out that, even if the other person on Bumble isn't specifically seeking out those kind of profiles, it still might show them to them. Now I probably wouldn't care at all, which is kind of funny looking back on it. But I do remember
Probably, wait,
that.
hold on. Probably wouldn't care. You're the host of a Throuple podcast,
That's a good
and you
point.
are now on the gay leadership team at your work,
How
Not leadership
exciting.
team, just the committees.
which she's a leader of.
That's
Committees
exciting.
or teams?
Committees or teams.
Is it the
But
same?
the funny thing is when you did finally download Bumble and we went to make the profile, I think that was like 2 weeks though before like we really started dating UCAM. So then it was funny because I was like, I don't really know if I want to do Bumble yet. Let's explore that in a bit and see how this goes first. And then this went so well that
Well, and Lex, when you guys created the Bumble profile, were you truly looking for unicorns or actual relationships?
Relationship.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
I think
always
that
been
also
relationship
helps.
based. One night stands or like flings, I wasn't really interested in personally. So yeah, it was always like a connection relationship first, and then like all the benefits later.
Do you think Bumble lends itself a little bit better to that then? Because you do have some of these apps like Field that are not necessarily designed truly for like thruples or polyamorous relationships per se, even though that's encompassed in it, obviously. But it's also more like kink friendly, so people can kind of go there and fly their flag and not worry about as much judgment, but get kind of that awkward conversation out of the way early on so that you don't have to start the dating process and then be like, oh, by the way, this is what I'm into. Whereas Bumble, if you are looking for a relationship, particularly if it's already a couple profile, it kind of removes that onus on the sexual aspect of it first and foremost. Whereas Field, I think, kind of leans more sex forward from the start, and then, you transition into a relationship potentially.
I think they should pay us for that, for everything we just said.
Right.
Bumble and Field, if you are listening, we'd like your sponsorship. Thank you.
So, how quickly did you guys have success on the apps?
Pretty quick actually. The first person we dated seriously, it was, I don't remember because I didn't start it. But yeah, I think it was pretty quick, a few days in, and we had matched, and she was just asking questions. It was like, what do you mean? You're a couple. Can you tell me more?
Yay, she's like me.
And so I was like, oh yeah, totally. And that was one of her like fears or thoughts was, is this just you? Like, does your wife know? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm here too. And then we created like a group text and just answered all the questions and then met in person.
And not just that you were here too, right? This was for
Oh,
you.
yes, right.
And I think that's where a lot of women get hesitant too, is like,
Yeah.
are their husbands forcing them to do
Yes.
this
Right, yeah.
because they want to keep things spicy?
I couldn't imagine.
But really, it's
Me too. It's yeah.
And in my experience, that has been the vast majority of it, is coming across women that know they need this and they want this facilitated for them, and their partners are helping facilitate that for them, not out of their own desires, but out of a desire to make their partner happy.
Yeah, no, I still have friends that are like, you are the one who wants this? And I'm like, yeah, why don't you believe that? And they're like, oh, I just always thought it was him. And I'm like, that would be a lot for me to do for him, you know?
They
Like,
don't understand how much work it is for the guys also.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm not saying that there isn't a ton of reward, but there's a lot of work that goes into it also. Like, one, I get teamed up on all the time.
I was going to ask that. That was one of
Outnumbered
my
99% of the time.
I was going to ask that because that is like that's what we experienced too, is like me and whoever we're dating, we would gang up on him. And I mean, I always thought it was hilarious and it was kind of funny, but sometimes it was like, and then I would look at him and be like, you wanted to do this too. Like, are you okay? Because we would, gang up on him.
There's times when I find it's adorable. And
Right, I bet.
it turns me on even a little bit, right? Like, not to lie. But there are times when I look at both of them and I'm like, look, I am sensitive right now. It's not the time. I feel attacked and I'm literally in a corner. And I was like, but that's when we communicate, right? Just like any relationship, just because I'm almost like, it kind of feels like it's evened out now, because like whenever they're together, and I think there's times when they're like, yeah, actually, you know what? That also bothers me.
Oh,
So, I thought I was just a little crazy or like I was just being, but like, no, it's an issue for me
No,
too.
it's you.
Yeah. So then I'm like, oh, well, I guess it is me. So I'm going to reflect on this for a second.
And this is exactly why we love Will so much, because he is vulnerable with us, and he lets us know what he needs and what he can handle. And he does a great job at communicating that through when conflict does arise. And he does, honestly, I got to give you credit for all the times that you do get ganged up on. You handle it pretty darn well. Not always, but the vast majority of the time, you handle it better than when I get ganged up on, which granted isn't very often because y'all are sweet, but not that it's not warranted.
See how I never get ganged up on? That means I'm always right.
ooh.
I don't know. I can think of a couple times Will and I have ganged up on you.
Definitely, for sure.
For sure. So it does go all the way around, but yeah, Will does unfortunately take the brunt of it.
It's
I
the
think
easiest.
we're all fighting against the patriarchy in our own
Oh,
ways. And so
And let's be honest, I'd say dumb shit. I'm still a dude. No matter how awesome I am or progressive or whatever, like I'm a dude. I'm a dude. I say dumb shit all the time. And the fact that they both turn and they look at me and I'm like, oh fuck, that was dumb. And like it's more of it helps me instantly register when I do something dumb, because they both look at me, versus like before I'm like, oh, you're just judging me. And now I'm like, oh no, there's a
Like,
consensus.
oh, that was actually
I'm
There's a
reading the room.
consensus.
actually bad.
People have spoken.
Right.
So how did your husband handle the times when you guys ganged up? Did it cause issues? And
No, it was usually playful, like what you said. And I think it was similar. Like, I think before he just thought it was me, like it was something like that bothered me. And then he quickly realized, like, oh no, like we both think that was not the best thing to say or do. So, but no, I always thought it was hilarious, but I wasn't the one getting ganged up on.
so tell us some more about that relationship. What did that look like? How long did it last? What kind of came to its natural end, if you want to?
and what did it do for y'all's relationship?
The first
Who'd
relationship.
you tell? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot. The first relationship, it was probably like 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, we hit it off. But we were like navigating because we had not done anything like this before. And so we didn't know what to do exactly. So he met her first in person. They went on a date, and then we went on a date, like her and I, and then all three of us together.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know if I would recommend that because we still had like young kids. And so when he went, I remember like feeling like jealous and that I was missing out. And so that was something we had to work through. But then he ended up feeling similarly when her and I went on our date. Yeah, and then when we all went together, it was great. Like we all connected.
So you guys went on dates separately the first time.
Uh-huh.
And so you stayed back with the kids.
Yeah.
How long was that date?
Okay, so they went for drinks and saw a movie. And
Whoa,
I know.
aggressive.
I know. And then the movie was done because obviously I checked how long it was. And they're like still there. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, I want to know. And he wasn't answering the text and she wasn't either. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what have I done? I just like sent him on his way. But no, then he came home. He could tell I was mad, and we just talked about it. And he just said, like, we were talking. The phone was on silent still, and I just had to like build that trust
Yeah.
with them. And we just, communicating is like key. You can't like hold it back. You have to let it out.
Yeah. So did you guys before the date talk about any particular boundaries or guidelines for the date in terms of what was allowed, you know, and kind of what he needed to convey to you if, you know, before he, you know, maybe kissed her or?
No, I think I said like kissing was fine.
Okay.
Like if you feel it, do it. What were the other questions? There was a lot.
No, there are a lot of questions.
know.
It's just so fascinating,
Okay.
isn't it? So yeah, I guess that was you answered a lot of them about just my feelings about like what was going through your head while they were on the date. For backstory,
Sure.
Paige and I did all of our dates together.
Yeah. Since then we've dated together. Like we haven't had like, and as like the relationship evolves, we've gone on separate dates,
Yeah.
but initially it's together.
Yeah.
That was I would not recommend doing it apart on the first date.
Yeah, for sure. So the very first girl you guys match with or woman that you match with and go on a date with, you guys get into a relationship with. How long is the relationship?
It was about 6 months.
What'd that look like? Who knew about this? Who were you telling at this point?
Probably my closest girlfriends knew. I don't really know if any of Brent's friends knew, actually, now that I think about it. I was like getting to the point where I was going to like tell my mom and sister, and that's like when it kind of like began to fizzle out. I like remember it was like Thanksgiving, I think, and I was like, I felt like they already knew, and they were like staring at me, and I was like, oh my God, I should just tell them, like, oh, this is like tense. But we were like not in the best place, so I waited, and I'm kind of glad we did because it didn't end up working out. And the reason it didn't work out is because she was younger than us, and she was looking for like a traditional relationship. She still wanted a wedding and kids, and we already had that, so that's what like broke it up.
Yeah, it's hard. Paige and I dated. Look, we didn't have one night stands, but we didn't have relationships either. They were like friends that we were
Friends with
slipping with.
benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we would often talk to them and hang out and stuff. And yeah, 90% of them, if not all of them, were looking for that.
Right.
And it's so ingrained in our society, and it's hard, right? I know because you get attached. Did she meet the kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Because they were young at
They were
that
young,
point, right?
so they didn't really know, but it was like just so adorable. Like she came over, we had dinner, like it was bedtime. She like read them a story. Like it was so adorable. And then it just like fizzled out. But yeah, no, there was like definitely a connection and then like a big letdown for sure.
And I can see that those things that probably made you love her or like her even more are probably some of the things that when she was experiencing them, she was like, oh shit. And she was coming to the realization that she wanted that and that she wanted that in her own sense, right?
Right. And she expressed like she had feelings for us too. And she could see it going somewhere, but it was scary. And, you know, there's not a lot of people, at least then, I'm sure there was, but we didn't know of anyone living a lifestyle like that. So that was hard.
On a broader conversation about those current couples that are looking for a genuine third to their relationship and want that throuple dynamic, generally speaking, I would imagine you're going to have more luck, at least with the ones that I have seen either on social media or obviously our own dynamic. You're going to have better luck probably with that slightly older demographic that has either, you know, maybe already had their own kids or had their own marriage and knew that the traditional path didn't work out for them for whatever reason, and are now able to let go of the needs for some of those things And because, I could see potentially with anyone younger that hasn't had those big life moments yet, being confronted with that visibly with an existing couple
Right.
is probably going to tug on those heartstrings all the more.
Right. That was part of it. And then like a recurring worry for her was that we had been together for so long. So like, sure, everybody's like, oh, your high school sweethearts, that's so adorable. Well, for her, it was like, you guys have been together forever. Like, how do I fit in? And you have so much backstory. And so like, you've experienced so much together. And I'm like, I understand. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Cause like, this is like how we got here. But I totally understand like where you're coming from. I'm like, but moving forward, like we want you with us. Like, it's not going to be separate. Like I want it all together, all three. So
It's a very common reoccurring theme because it is hard. It's not like you're just hanging out with someone and it's just a person from their past that comes in and out. It's the person who's been in their past daily, constantly, who's helped them develop into the person they are now too. So I mean, there's no real simple answer to that one other than the efforts of making the new memories and experiences together.
Yeah. And this has come up a lot. People ask me this all the time on TikTok about how we deal with that and how you kind of overcome those struggles. And that's really all you can do is take it in the moment and communicate around it and really recognize that, one, there's nothing we can do about our respective pasts and what's gotten us to this point, but also that when we share parts of our past, it happens so naturally, particularly when you're trying to, convey a part of who you are and why you are a certain way. You often have to go to stories of your past to tell that and explain it. And so when, for example, when Will and Paige talk about their memories or parts of their relationship from, before I had met them, yes, there are times when it emphasizes the fact that I was not there for it, but it is done. I know that they are doing it in a way to include me in their past, not as a way to exclude me from their present.
Right. And
that's just a state of mind that you have to be aware of in dealing with those emotions when they come up, because it's natural for it to come up, and even having that perspective doesn't keep me from still having the emotions that go along with it, of that little tinge. But as I've said before, it doesn't stop the emotions from coming, even though I have the mental awareness of knowing that they are not sharing these stories to hurt me or to make me feel excluded or left out of their past. They are doing it as a way to bring me into it. And, they have the same, or the other side of the coin too, when I talk about stories of when the kiddo was younger, and raising him and what it was like in those early years. And they feel like they missed out on all of that and are sad that they didn't get to be a part of, his life from the very beginning. But I certainly don't bring that up to hurt them. I bring it up to share it with them so that they can have greater context for who he is and who I am as a mom, et cetera. So those feelings are natural and they come up and they're okay to have. You don't have to get to a point where you just don't have those feelings or where you repress those feelings in order to make it work. No, they have to just coexist with the awareness that it is in an effort to really fully bring you in to an equal dynamic and educate on who we are because of our past. And, those emotions are gonna come and go. And if we just remember that those conversations are not ever done with the intent to hurt, they're done with the intent to share, it helps a lot in just letting those feelings kind of wash through you, experiencing them, acknowledging them, and then letting it go and moving forward now with the greater knowledge and perspective of your partner's past.
I agree. It's taking us a lot of communication to get there. But I want to get back to you.
Okay.
So she expressed these feelings of grievances of like not feeling like she can make up for past times
Right.
and things like that. Now, was this a conversation that you guys all had together? Did she come to one of you before the other? Like how was it
It was
addressed?
both, and then we both like spoke about it, I guess independently with her, and again all together. But yeah, it was just like something she couldn't get past. So
So was it then like just okay, you're over, cut and dry, or was it just
Kind
okay,
of.
we kind of hung out more and then just stopped?
well, she was dating someone else.
Okay, so it wasn't exclusive.
We thought it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
Right. So we thought it was just, the three of us, but no, she was like talking and dating somebody else. And so she saw that path with him.
Gotcha.
So they did end up, getting married and having a.
Oh,
wow.
well, good
Yeah.
for her.
They're
I guess.
divorced.
Oh,
Maybe you should have stayed
So,
with the
I mean,
couple.
Well,
What a
hey,
story.
And that's what me and Brent joke about it, but I'm like, have you noticed like the women we've been with and like we're serious with, they have like the traditional relationship, and then it didn't work. And so I'm like, well, yeah, but like, do I like text him and be like, see, you should have stayed with us, right?
that's my next question is like, we just talked about like how Cam just said how sometimes you need the older women who
Yeah.
have gone through those failures of traditional
Right.
relationships or,
We've-
expectation losses.
Yeah, no, so like that took a while to get over. But the next person we dated, and it got like semi-serious, she was older. So I thought, oh, okay. Like she was married, divorced, had older children. And so I was like, okay, like this is going to be better, right? Because like you already know, I don't know, like you've already tried that.
And how long after the first relationship was this second person?
Like 2 years
Oh,
later.
okay, so
oh,
pretty
wow,
big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like we talked to people off and on in between, but like it was just like comparing to her, and so like
Yeah.
it didn't.
Click.
No,
And if it doesn't click, you cannot
cannot.
force
Yeah.
any sort of
No.
throuple dynamic. I did want to ask though, in that relationship, do you feel that Brent was equally, emotionally invested in it with
sure.
her as well?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and that's part of like what I don't think people understand. It's like such a different perspective to watch the person that you love fall in love with someone else, but you're like also there experiencing it too. It's like the coolest thing to experience. Like, and yes, there's some jealousy and there's like some moments where it's like, oh gosh, like what if they like, he likes her more than me or whatever. But in the end, like watching the love grow between them, it's like one of the best parts.
Compersion, one of my favorite words.
So actually, no, my question was not at all that.
Oh,
My
okay.
question was,
Sorry.
no,
Still
not
a
at
good
all.
answer.
No, it was a great answer. No
Okay.
need to say sorry.
Okay.
Here. So my question was, based off of the qualifier of Cam saying like, hey, you need to go through some life experience. Now that she's gone through that life experience, has she reached out? Have
Oh,
you
yeah.
reached out?
Oh.
Yeah.
How has that gone?
the
See, this
origi-
is why we answer the juicy questions.
Right. No, the original, we'll just say the original, always reaches back out.
Always.
So it's a constant, like a
Yeah, but I don't know
consistent-
if I can get over it. Brent's over it. I'm not over it. Like, I can't move on or be with that. Like,
Because they didn't choose you.
yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have the faith in the security of what was being
Yeah.
offered and presented to them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're always going to have that fear of being left
sure.
for something more traditionally secure.
Yep.
And, I think that's what, people ask me all the time too, like, aren't you afraid that you're giving up your chance at something that is uniquely yours, like that you don't have to share? And
This is pretty unique.
I'm just like,
Right.
yeah.
No,
I
I
was
think
like,
it's
I've never
better.
felt more safe in a
Right.
relationship. I've never felt more secure in a relationship.
Mhm.
And that's not to say that the relationship is perfect or easy, but I don't feel like it's at risk. And that's not coming from a naive place of saying, oh, well, this is just going to last forever and ever. Obviously, that is our intent, and that is what we feel, and that is what we know in our hearts that it's meant to. But life happens, and everybody feels that way with any relationship that they come across that they think is going to last forever. And forever is an abstract, unrealistic expectation to put on any sort of relationship dynamic or anything else in life in general. So I don't feel any more at risk in this relationship than I would in any other relationship.
Right.
And I don't think of it as having to share, because so many people from a traditional comp-het perspective think of it as me sharing will. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
yeah.
No, I'm not just having to share a man. I'm getting twice the amount of love.
Right.
It's not divided love. It's exponential love.
Yes.
No, but it's really interesting because by no means were Will and I looking for a relationship. It really was more just like the looking for friends with benefits. But most of them were still pining after someone else.
Yes.
And that was always really fascinating. And it wasn't like, oh, well, you're just kind of killing loneliness and faking it and having fun exploring non-traditional. You could tell they really were interested in non-traditional relationships, but yet they were still pining after that one traditional relationship. And usually this one guy out there who wasn't even that great of a guy for them to be pining after to begin with, but most of them had that recurring theme where we would hear about this dude all the time and how crappy of a person they were. And they're like, still wanting them.
And even if they weren't pining, because I wasn't pining after anyone in particular, but I was pining after the idea of my own primary partner when I met Will and Paige. And that is a hard thing to deconstruct when you have a vision in your head and you've grown up with, ideas of marriage and what the ideal relationship looks like. And then growing up as an adult and learning, things like the fact that nothing is permanent. And you go through different heartache when you felt that it never would have been possible before. And now you get to explore something different, that when emotions become involved and that love starts to grow, like you spoke of, watching them fall in love while also yourself falling in love with her. And it didn't take away from the love that you had for him, right? That's what I want people to understand so much, is that it doesn't take away from the love you already have for an existing partner. It simply adds to it in a new and wholly, undefined way.
Yeah. How I've explained it on a more simple basis is if you've had one pet and you love your pet and you and you're like, oh, I need another one. You're not going to not love the first pet the same, right? It's just more. The love just grows.
And you love both of those pets more when they themselves are getting along and enjoying life together more.
You love watching them interact.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So,
or same with your children.
yes,
right?
children for sure.
If you have multiple
I was going to
children.
use that one. I was like,
I was
don't
gonna-
know about pets, but maybe
Well,
children.
so I was
Children's a
gonna-
good one.
You guys
Right.
are interesting in that you
'Cause
don't like both of
that's
your
why I
pets
started
equally.
with pets, though. Yeah.
Like all people like their children equally, please.
Okay, fair.
You all have favorites. I know.
This is why I only had one.
Right. No, so I have two. And when I was pregnant, or we had the first one and then I got pregnant with the second one, that's a fear, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, but I love you so much. Am I going to love? And then the baby comes and you're like, oh my God, I love you both, and you just love, the love just grows. And so I think that's hard to, for a non-traditional or for traditional people to look at that or see that. Maybe that helps them to understand, but it is kind of hard to explain.
It's hard to explain unless you actually experience it. 'cause
Right.
So many people cannot even comprehend it.
Yes.
They immediately and to this, I credit them because they know themselves well enough to know that they would get too jealous.
Mm-hmm.
When the original reached back out, what was the conversation like between you and your husband in that subject?
So I think I'm more guarded, and I joke and say he's like open and sticky, like he catches feelings first.
I was going to say, what does sticky mean?
Like he's just, yeah, I don't know, like warm and sticky. I don't know. Like he just, I don't know. But yeah, so he was like, oh yeah, like totally down. And I'm like, hold on, like I don't know if I can do that. Like, sure, we can try. And so like we kind of talked, but like in the back of my mind, like I couldn't get past it. So I just didn't, I mean, and we talk, I feel like every like 6 months or something. She comes back and I'm like, maybe one day.
Is it
Not yet.
amicable or?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And
Yeah.
so then you said there was a period, like a cooling off period, I guess would be the best way to put it, of 2 years, which is quite a while.
I mean, we were looking, but I just feel like there's so many couples looking and not very many. I don't know if I love the word unicorns, but like I don't know. It's just not common. And so it was hard to find again.
So I think of unicorns more as like just those looking for those singular experiences, and maybe even a friends with benefits situation. But I do think it's a better nomenclature for those that are looking for a genuine equal sort of throuple dynamic, because it is that much harder to find, and it's harder to find the right fit where you can experience that level of compersion and get everybody on the same page emotionally, where those butterflies and attraction levels are all being fueled by each individual for the entire dynamic and for each of the individuals within that dynamic. That is a hard thing to find the right fit for, and you cannot force it if it's not there. So the fact that you have been able to find it, at least to some degree, on multiple occasions now, is, I mean, it says a lot actually about you guys as a couple that you've had that much luck, because I know so many.
It feels like we're not lucky. I don't know. Like, I mean, I get when you say it like that, I'm like, damn, we are lucky. Because yeah, we've had three or four relationships.
And you've had feelings for everyone? How long have they all been? Like, range?
No, you know what? I'm going to take that back. 3 relationships, like, where feelings were involved, and it was, like, semi-serious. The first one, the original, and then the woman we dated who was older, that was, I think, again, 6 months.
Okay.
But she was still looking for a traditional lifestyle, even though, like, we all had feelings, and we had talked about how we could work it out, like, to be all together. Yeah, we talked about, like sharing a house or, doing those things, and it just wasn't what she wanted. So,
so with that second one,
Sure.
what did that look like compared to the first one? Who knew? Were you guys more hesitant in different areas than you had been the first go around? Like, how was it similar? How was it different?
the same group of friends knew. I don't think we introduced her to anybody. I don't remember. But no, like we did everything together, like with her, and then like built our independent relationships with her, like as we got more serious and built that trust. But yeah, we didn't do much differently. I mean, communication was better because every time we date somebody and just growing together in time, like Brent and I are better like in communicating with each other and then with whoever we're dating.
Have you experienced any issues with like the second or the third relationship where the new partner was then like, oh, wait, I'm not your first serious triad. Like, because now there's already a difficulty of shared history between
Right.
you and your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you overcome that whenever then you add that extra layer of, and you're not the third person
No, yeah,
that
there
we've
was
brought into?
yeah, no, that is a thing. The, our most recent relationship, that was probably like not a complaint, but something that she brought up because it wasn't the first. And I'm like, I get it, but those relationships didn't work. And every time we were in a relationship, we grew more and learned how to better communicate. So like without it or without them, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Right.
What kind of partner, in given your prior experience in these relationships, what has it taught you about the type of partner that you now want and are looking for moving forward, in knowing what works and what doesn't, and what kind of dynamic you and your husband thrive the most in?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can like put it into like a specific category. I would love for someone like the person we date next to know that's what they want, or to know they like the traditional path didn't work, or that's not what they're interested in, since that's been the biggest hurdle. But yeah, really just if the three of us click and mesh well and communicate, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's a pretty important
Right.
qualifier. Is like, yeah, you have to know that this is what you want and that this is what you are ready for. And I see it so much with people expressing that they would love this sort of dynamic. So for any single women out there that are wanting that in their life, where should we send them?
Oh, I don't know. They should comment like on the podcast, and then
Yeah.
you can connect us.
That or check
reach
out,
out.
check out Cam's TikTok.
Oh yeah.
TikTok is at relish.every.vibe.
Okay.
If you don't have a checklist of what you're looking for specifically, is there a red flag list of absolute no's?
Oh, I don't think so. Once you start talking to somebody, you can like tell if it's like gonna work and we're gonna like mesh. I wouldn't say there's like specific red flags. I don't know. I feel like I'm not giving the best answers.
No, I'm actually glad you gave that answer, because I was very intrigued by Will and Paige's red flag list.
I want to hear it.
I
I think you guys have said it. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then we won't go over it.
But it was more a collection of random things that they learned that they didn't like about people.
Just in general, not even people that like.
I have a
It's a red
question.
flag list for like friends, family, like yeah, it's everyone.
First and foremost, no Russians.
Yeah, no more Russians.
But they also had no cat ladies on there, and
Oh,
I'm definitely a
no.
cat
Yeah.
lady, so
No kids.
yeah.
Really?
kids was on
How
the
could
list.
you? I feel like that's hard to find.
No.
No? Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm
Keep
sure
in mind they are youngins.
How old are you?
30.
I'm 31. Yeah.
Shut up. Okay. Sorry.
Now, granted, on the relationship side, I do think that would be a rule that would be hard to do, the no kids. But when we were just doing it
Right.
for pure fun, that was
Yeah.
a pretty easy
Yeah,
category.
I get
So,
that.
but
Okay.
I'm curious though, why would it matter if it was just for fun? Why were you excluding moms?
I just don't like kids.
But if it's just for fun,
Yeah,
why
we're
would you ever be
offended.
around
We're
them?
moms.
I don't know. People prioritize their kids, and that's
Scheduling.
annoying.
No, scheduling. It was 100% scheduling.
Right. No, that's a thing.
Scheduling, and the same reason I previously did not date girls or women when I was single that had kids is because I did not want to deal with the baby daddy.
That is true, because even if it wasn't something where we were pursuing a relationship, like who knows if the kids' other parents are going to get upset if they find out anything. We didn't want anybody chasing us down for no reason.
Yeah, it was just easier.
See that less complicated for sure.
So you guys met me and we're just like, yeah, let's fucking poke the bear and
Cat lady
go
with
rogue
kid.
from the list.
Yes, that's exactly what we did. We've talked about this.
You
day.
have to step out of your comfort zone. So that's why like I don't feel like I have a lot of parameters or like a checklist, because like if it works, there's a vibe, like we all click, then I don't think there's like a red flag that'll be like, oh nope.
For the third relationship, what was the deal breaker there? It's kind of the same pattern of, found out they wanted more of a traditional,
Yeah. I mean, okay, so it's recent. And so you guys had your podcast already.
Oh.
And so that was like a complaint that she had was...
that we had a podcast?
No,
Damn it.
she didn't like it. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was like, where do we go from here? And I'm like, well, first of all, like it hasn't been that long. So like we just wait until tomorrow. Like we just take it a day at a time kind of thing. But I shared the podcast with her and I was like, if you'll listen to, I think it was the first, I listened to them out of order. So I'm like, if you listen, I think it was the first one. I'm like, if you listen to their podcast, episode 1 or 2, whatever, they like break it down. And I'm like, and they're like a prime example and they're making it work. Like, so when we get to that, like it can be done. And so like I had shared it with her. I asked a few times if she listened and she like didn't, she like dodged it. So I don't know. So maybe she'll hear it.
The same thing our family did.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, hey,
Why?
do you listen to our podcast yet? And they're like,
Wait a minute. My mom is a very
Yes.
avid listener.
Aw.
She listens to every episode as soon as it drops.
fair.
I
I don't
do
have
too.
family. So it was what Paige's family said.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
OMG
parents-
page.
We texted it to them. They're like, cool.
No, they're
out.
like, we don't have time for podcasts.
Yeah, they did say they don't have time for this.
You don't drive in the car?
I'm not worried about saying this because they're not going to listen to it. But her sister says, oh, I don't have time for that right now. And I'm like, 1, you commute. 2, I
Yeah.
read your book. I read
She
a
has a book?
We all read her book. It is good, by the way. It's
It's a
called
great
Demon
book.
Oasis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's on Amazon. It's everywhere. It's a great book.
Urban
I love the
fantasy
read.
smut.
And you guys
But I
had time
didn't
to
read
read it.
I
You had
did.
We
time.
made time.
We took time.
Oh.
On vacation.
Oh.
But it was Greece, so.
No, but it was a worthwhile read. And you know what? I think our podcast is a worthwhile listen.
For
So-
No, when you guys drop the first, I don't know, when you drop it, like there, you don't have like a date, like every whatever.
We're supposed to.
Right.
We'll get
And so in between, I think 2 and 3, there was like a long gap. And I'm like, I would like refresh and like check. I'm like, when is the next one coming? So
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
We're such a cock tease.
Yeah, it really was. I'm like, okay, I'll just
we're-
wait.
We're just edging our viewers.
You know, it happens. All right. So I had asked whenever we took our break about if any of these relationships, if they had also had kids.
Yeah, the second person we dated, she had older children, and then this most recent one, she has 2 kids, and they're close in age with the kids that we have. So,
How does
And-
that work? Yeah.
so it's frustrating because it just recently like ended, and it just kind of like she just stopped responding, which is lovely. But her son and my son have the same name, which I was like, oh my god, and it's not a
That
common
is
name.
not a common name.
And her son has the same birthday that I have.
Whoa.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's clicking, it's going great. I'm like, we have all these things in common. And then it was like, not, it just stopped.
Probably got scared.
It is scary. Yeah. And that is one of the things that she shared. But yeah, no, dating somebody with kids, I don't have, like, I don't feel either way about it, but it's almost easier for people who have kids because they usually share custody. So they have their kids part of the time. And I joke with Brent and I'm like, I wish I could share custody with our kids with someone that I trusted and loved, because we never have a break. And so like when they don't have their kids, like that's when we're able to like see them more, but it's harder for us to get like childcare and like make that time, So I don't know. Does that answer it?
No, I definitely get that.
Right?
we were just chatting a little bit more about how sometimes the third person struggles with, or really anybody struggles with those physical displays of affection in public when you are not kind of out with either your sexuality or your relationship, right? And I think when I was younger and still challenging how I viewed my own sexuality, and I joke all the time that I called myself a bad bisexual for a number of reasons, but it was still because I cared so much what others thought. And the older I've gotten,
Right.
the less I
Yeah.
have started to care what other people think. And honestly, I think the three of us almost use it to our advantage to enjoy it. Like, we enjoy
That is a fun
getting
part.
the people to look and be like, ooh, what's this dynamic? Wait.
They get uncomfortable, or they get, and at the same time, I feel like they get really interested. They're like, what are they doing?
So interested.
Yeah.
And so when the eyes get on us, or when people are brave enough to ask a question, like, we love that. And I think it does help, one, reaffirm just that this is a real relationship in so many ways, just like any other normal, traditional relationship. Because even in the poly world, we would be somewhat judged, I think, for the fact that we are a closed triad. We are essentially a monogamous relationship, but just with three people. So yes, we are technically polyamorous, but most polyamorous individuals are going to not have that closed
Right.
relationship component. And so we, much like bisexuals, we have a hard time fitting into a certain community, right? Like, we might not fully fit into the poly community, and we might not fully fit into the traditional community, just like bisexuals have a hard time often fitting into the queer community because we're not usually considered, either queer enough or queer presenting, or, so it's so hard. And
Abraham Lincoln.
He was a bisexual.
He was a bisexual.
For real?
there's a theory.
There's a reason that top hat was so big.
What was he keeping in there?
Right.
No, he sat on it. He was a tall guy. Like, you'd have put him on his knees that long? No, he needs a seat.
Oh my goodness.
We might lose my mom as a listener if
No.
you talk shit about Abe Lincoln, okay?
I didn't say anything negative.
It wasn't bad. Yeah. It's just how he chose to live his life.
No judgment, Abe.
No, we love him.
You do you.
Yeah. You guys just went and saw him,
We did?
right?
Yes,
the
we did.
statue? Yeah.
I had to think about this. Like, he's dead.
You're like, oh, she's not invited anymore. She thinks he's alive. Oh, God.
Yeah, we did recently go to DC, and we didn't touch on that.
We haven't debriefed that at all. We can
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to save it.
But yeah, we recently went to DC for Thanksgiving, and we went there as a side trip, but
We saw the
We
big
saw the
bisexual
Lincoln.
himself.
so Lincoln Memorial.
And you know what he was doing? He was
Look-
fucking sitting down.
Looking at the giant Washington Monument.
Yeah, like,
That
tell me
looks-
that man isn't staring at a giant dick-shaped object all day
Right.
and isn't bisexual? Uh-huh. Sure. History got it right.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry to your mom.
But the irony of that, actually, so again, when we weren't looking for a relationship necessarily, but like one of the first women that we had hooked up with and hung out with for a bit, it was funny because it was almost like dating. And then she was definitely like, hey, like, not looking to date. We're like, yeah, same. She's like, yeah, it's not like I'm trying to bring you home for Thanksgiving or anything.
Right.
Like, couldn't do that to my parents. And again, it comes back to
Yeah.
people's expectations and what their parents have imagined for them. And then again, society norms. They did like, yeah, I'm just supposed to bring a guy home and get married,
Yeah.
not a couple.
Right.
Or no, I'm not going to bring a whole bunch of different partners home. But then the irony of, this Thanksgiving, we brought Cam and the kiddo back to
That's
where my parents
adorable.
are. And so the fact that actually didn't happening is pretty wild.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Hallmark, I have a script ready to go about it.
Oh, yeah.
If you want a new Christmas movie next year.
Oh,
I have a question.
I'm scared.
So, obviously,
See, he's intimidating.
No. I don't think so.
it's the intelligence that is. So, the obvious answer is that you probably lost your virginity to Brett or to a man.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first slept with a woman? And what was that? How was that
Oh.
experience of losing your virginity to
I
a
never-
man versus a woman different?
I don't think of it like that, and I don't know. Like it's like how like we were raised. To me, like it doesn't count. It counts. I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying.
Like-
and I
if it's in
agree.
the butt, it doesn't count. God doesn't get mad. I know. It's
I
not
mean, I
holy.
wouldn't put it in that category, but yeah. I don't. Probably like 19, 20. 20, yeah.
Did you
Not in 2020. I was 20.
Did you ever Google like how to?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I'm like, I don't know what to do.
No, finish. Finish
How to do all the things.
all the things to a woman.
Because I'm like, I know what I like. Are they gonna like the same thing I like?
Exactly.
Do I just do what I like to her? What if she doesn't like it? What if I'm not good at it? Because
Yeah.
women are way more complicated than a guy.
And very, very different. And,
Yeah.
and yet you grow up with experience with men, and then you add that female component to it, and it's like being back in middle school again or high
Yes,
school where you just
yeah.
like don't know what you're doing, and it's very nerve-wracking,
Right,
you
yeah.
know. And so I like being good at things, and I had to
Right.
really research and
No, I totally, yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this is to make the podcast, but to get not safe for work, they both had pussy eating, what's the word? Insecurities
Oh.
about skill. Yeah, they were both very They both were very
Yeah.
reluctant and like insecure about
Yeah.
like how well they thought they were performing. And now I'm over here like, fuck, I gotta send me those videos. Because that happened a lot quicker when you did it this time.
Yeah, because my experience is more like it just kind of happened. Like my first experience with a woman wasn't until like our Willis and I's first escapade. So that wasn't until like 2 years ago. And that was just like, all right, it's happening. Hope I know what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Right. Yeah. No. I definitely, it's like more of like a reflection. Like I like look back and then I'm like, was it good? And then I like Google like, how can I do it better? Or what should I be doing? I don't, yeah.
Did they leave a review anywhere?
I almost want to send a survey like, hey, how 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the least.
So I have a bisexual friend who said that her tactic is to make sure that whenever she does go down on someone, she holds their hand and tells them, give me a squeeze when I'm doing the right thing.
Oh.
And it's gonna happen kind of naturally, right? Because
Yeah.
like if you're getting to that moment of like, oh,
Right,
yeah,
you're
that feels good,
squeezing.
you're gonna squeeze
Uh-huh.
something.
Yeah.
And so to get that initial is very
Oh.
helpful. As long as it's not a feedback of like sometimes your body is going to tense up because you don't like something, right? You're going to be
Right.
like, oh,
You're
I'm
like,
going to
no, that's
tense
not what
away.
I meant. Yeah.
So just making sure that communication is,
Oh, I like that.
is
Okay.
clear, but yeah, maybe that'll work for somebody. But I mean, ultimately the thing that I've learned is, and not that I have vast experience or anything, but you can't go into, this is a message really for men everywhere too. You cannot go into that assuming that whatever you have done for partners in the past
Right.
is going to feel good to that partner. And because all of our bodies are different, particularly women, and men are a little more predictably consistent in the ways that you can please them. Whereas, women's, areas are designed differently, and women have different sensitivities and different proclivities for what does do it for them. And you can't just go and be like, oh no, I'm good at this, trust me, and then force a technique on somebody and they're like, oh, I hate to tell you that, but like it's not great for me.
Right, that was terrible.
Yeah. So I always tell clients and just friends in general, like anything relating to sexuality and physicality should be adaptive to your partner. You should always be taking time to learn your partner and learn their body and learn how they respond to things so that you get a sense of what they like, not what you think they are going to like. And you will have much more enriched experiences when you are able to do that. And then, yes, over time, it becomes more automatic and you don't have, you can go in with confidence knowing that I know that they like this, or I know that I'm in the right area, for hitting the hot zone. But it's a process, man. It was terrifying initially, those first experiences, particularly when it actually mattered for me, for Paige. My previous experiences, I knew that they were, not necessarily just one-off experiences by any means, but honestly, back then, I was not participating at that level.
Right.
And so when it got to where I wanted to participate in that way, like badly, but I also really wanted to be very good at it because I'm a perfectionist, and I needed to feel confident and make sure I was getting the job done. So there was a time where I had to try a whole bunch of things.
Well, practice has made perfect.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I've had this joke for so long now. God, I've just been dying over here. Even if there wasn't like a manual or all women were like the same of how to get you guys off, men wouldn't read it.
That's
True.
Yeah.
So true.
See, killed, I knew it would.
But the 5% of men that did, man, they would slay at life.
I think they're already in a throuple.
Yeah, they're already taken.
They are already taken.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Lex, you've had a very fascinating journey, and I think you have some very fascinating questions for us.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
we'll
know.
take you off the
Oh,
hot
thank
seat.
you. I don't like to talk
You've
about
done
myself.
such a great job.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing, by the way.
Of course,
But
yeah.
yeah, what questions do you have for us?
Are you guys going to have a ceremony?
Oh, yeah.
Wedding
Yeah?
ceremony?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Beetlejuice, for ruining that.
Oh, yeah, because we had aspirations of doing it at Dracula's castle.
Ooh.
And,
They said no? Or what?
well, no, Beetlejuice just...
There's a wedding scene at Dracula's castle in
Yeah.
Beetlejuice 2, and now it's going to be a huge,
And yeah, the
expensive
prices have
thing.
skyrocketed. It was actually affordable before the movie came out this summer, and now the movie's come out,
And
not so much. Yeah.
So we would ideally, we've talked about doing it abroad, and I don't know if we'll for sure land on that, but it would certainly be probably at least another year from now because we're so focused on the house and getting that built, and we gotta furnish that thing, and yeah, it's gonna be expensive. So. Again, we're looking for sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, we're also to give it some time so that like TLC or whoever can reach out and televise the wedding, like a royalty
Yes.
fight. Yeah, that's
We
what
need
I'm
a
hoping
reality
for.
show. Hint, hint to
I don't
whoever.
know if I don't.
Oh, no.
I don't know if it's
sorry.
It's a lot of work. So
Oh.
being in the industry and
Oh, you're
like
right.
being like having a lot of friends that work in reality shows. Yeah, it's
Not so much.
it's a
Okay.
lot. It's a
We
lot.
just need sponsors then, guys.
We'll
Yeah,
take
and you never
sponsors.
really get control over how they present it. So that
Oh,
they're
true.
with reality shows, I feel like they take everything out of context to make it the most dramatic
Yeah.
and fiery content that they can, even if that's not at all what's happening in real life. And we don't need that energy. So, but yeah, if anybody wants to sponsor it, that'd be great.
Do you guys all have the same like decorating style?
Oh,
I
it's
don't have
great
one.
because I don't have to decorate anymore. Cam does all of it.
Ooh, and you like what she does?
Yeah, because I found out I hate decorating.
Yeah.
I think every woman thinks that they want to be a decorator, and then some of us just have to realize, one, we're not good at it, and two, we don't even like it.
Right. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
A
I am
relief.
very particular.
Yeah.
Look, I want to say that I don't care, and that is 90% true. But there's that 10% of the time where I have a really
Like the
strong
bench
opinion,
in the new house.
like the bench in the new house. And so there's times where I'm like, I don't care, yeah, whatever you want. And I'm like, except for that, that needs to be there.
Okay, so that brings me to the next one. How is the house? Did you sell yours? How's the new one?
We're in the our
Ooh.
current house, so that's really good news. We should close like in a week or two, I think.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, the
So
important update
'cause
is
you
we
guys-
have a buyer.
Yes, we
Yeah,
have a
you guys
buyer.
stressed me out last time with
Oh, we were stressed.
how quickly, because it's usually the opposite.
Yeah.
It takes longer to build than be ahead of schedule.
Oh, they are about to paint the new house. The trim is in, the cabinets are in. Like, it's going
Oh.
up fast, guys. Like,
Yeah.
real fast. And, like, thought some sort of slowdowns or
Right?
like
No, nothing.
nothing. No delays.
I've even peeked at like the appliances we're having installed because sometimes it takes one appliance to delay a house.
Right.
And the kind of appliances we're getting, I've checked on websites, no delays.
Man, I mean, it's good for you, but it's also
yeah,
like
now that we've got our other house selling,
right.
it's like ideal to get it up and done and moved in. You
because
know?
we're homeless.
Yeah, because
Again.
Will and Paige will move in first.
To
and
the
then,
house?
Yeah, to
The new house, okay.
To the new house. And then the kiddo and I will follow, probably at the end of the school year in May sometime.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Is it
and
hard to
then-
be apart?
Well, we'll be 5 minutes apart at that point.
That's true. You're right.
And
Okay.
we've certainly dealt with it, leading up to this point as well, with them living an hour away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think.
So this will be easy. This
A
will
lot of
seem.
it'll be
podcast time.
much easier. Yeah, and it'll give them time to get established and get some things set up, and then we can all come together.
Okay, I remembered my question. It takes you an hour to get there, or it takes the average driver an hour to get there? Does her driving scare you guys?
Oh, it terrifies Will. It absolutely terrifies Will.
Which is funny because Will's driving terrifies me.
Oh.
And they are both very similar drivers.
Really?
Again, I have a type.
Right.
And they are very, very similar drivers. A little different in some ways. I don't know how the kiddo does it in the back seat, though. Because, you get thrown around. Luckily, I'm usually in the
Yeah.
front seat because I get car sick. I don't know how he does in the back.
Yeah, if you guys obviously don't know, but Cam drives like a race car driver, like legitimately race car.
Especially if she's late for Pilates.
Yeah.
And I'm always
Oh.
late
Goodness.
for everything.
Yeah.
You don't even have to qualify it about Pilates. It's just I'm
general?
usually running late.
All right, I would like to say though, like, it's not the race car style driving that always scares me. It's usually the driving by braille. That's what she calls it whenever she hits the little rumble strip on the side of the road. She says it's driving by braille. And like, you can, if you close your eyes and sit in the back, you can kind of tell which one she's hitting based off the noises. So you're like, up, center line, outside, center, outside. Yeah. So it's those moments that scare me. The other stuff, I'm like, yep, that's scary. And I do the same thing. So I can't say anything.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't think I like this line of questioning.
Sorry.
But yes, it is a full hour no matter what.
No matter who is driving. Okay. Yeah.
And that's if you're taking
Minimum.
tolls even.
Yeah,
Right.
because it has so many stoplights.
It's a far distance. It really is, yeah.
What are each of your love languages?
I am physical touch first, and then probably words of affirmation. But I feel like outside of those first one or two, I'm fairly equal across all the remaining ones. So those are all still really significant ways of showing love to me or how I receive it. And then as far as how I express love, because sometimes you express love either in your own love language of how you typically like to receive, but you should be expressing your love for someone in the love language that they best receive, not just the way that you best show it, right?
Right.
So I tend to try to show it more with touch still, mostly because I know it's theirs as well.
Oh, okay.
And then also, quality time or acts of service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine for giving, gift giving is really high up there. Acts of service is pretty high up. Touch. Receiving is definitely touch. And even outside of the typical listing, like just a sense of safety.
Ooh, I like
is a
that.
really good one. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So receiving words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
I need attention. I need praise.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
I am an actor, and there's a reason for that. And then I like physical touch, also receiving. As far as giving, I would say acts of service and time, praise or words of affirmation. But I'm not as good about doing the love language that the other person receives well. It's usually what I want to give. And so that is a struggle for me. And I love gift giving and acts of service. And I'm also a procrastinator. So I procrastinate. And so my procrastination sometimes gets in the way of my love.
I feel the same way.
So like, for instance, I kind of dropped the ball on our anniversary gift in the sense of I was like, oh, I did not prepare. And so, yeah, I felt so bad. So I always feel even worse whenever I fail at my my like things of love.
I loved my anniversary gift. It was, like
What
a
was
week
it?
late, but it was a faucet. It was a kitchen faucet. For a new
Oh, how
home.
sexy.
It is very sexy. I'll show it to you
okay.
before you leave. Because yeah, I am actually super excited about this faucet. And honestly, like housewares or just stuff for the house in general, having the home put together the way that we want it for as nice of a home as it is, that is super meaningful for me. So having elements that are going to contribute to that, that's a big value add for me personally.
And then in our dynamic, and it's actually helped because probably what you've experienced too is, when you do have another partner, you're learning more about yourself that you can then apply to the other partner too.
Right.
So I've even learned a lot in my love and love languages to Will just by being with Cam and being able to practice different elements of it. And one thing that I've learned is, Cam being divorced and a single mom for so long, I now say to myself, is there anything I'm doing or any environment in which Cam's feeling lonely? And then my love language is to fulfill that gap.
Right.
And for Will is there anything where he feels like we're not expressing interest in what he's doing or what he's working towards? And where can I fill that gap that I don't feel like I'm fulfilling to help express interest in his interest? And those have been like the two things I've noticed the most of like very specific love languages.
That's what makes you a stellar partner.
Thank you.
What else you got for
I think
us?
that's it.
That's all the questions?
Yep.
All right. To your favorite time, and that is the rapid fire questions.
Ooh, okay. I'm so excited.
All right. And give our guests a chance to answer first, and then we can answer if we would like. All right. The first one is toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Okay. Biggest red flag?
Bad communication.
Okay. Who was your first queer crush?
Oh. The chick from Fast and the Furious.
Okay. Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then the sister, like Vin
Oh,
Diesel's
yeah.
like sister,
oh, yeah.
kind of both,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Like the girly and then like the more like
more masculine.
tomboy.
How
yeah.
old were you?
I don't even know. It's been
we
a while.
We were teenagers when
Yeah.
it came out.
Yeah. Good question.
All right, girls. First queer crush?
It might have been Elizabeth Hurley in Bedazzled.
I don't know. I feel like I've told you all this one before, but I'm drawing a blank at the moment. Probably Natalie Portman or Keira Knightley.
Oh, okay.
Solid.
What's yours, Will?
Yeah, what's your queer crush?
Look,
Brad Pitt.
I mean, look, that I feel like it's such a cop out. As a straight guy, like it's hard for me to. I don't want to not give an answer. I mean, Brad Pitt, obviously, like as a actor and a character, but not a
Right.
human being.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's a rough one. My first like celebrity crush was Hillary Duff, Lizzie McGuire.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
He's got a
That's
big thing for Hillary Duff.
funny.
I hope she doesn't listen.
I hope she does.
That's embarrassing.
I think she'd be flattered.
Yeah.
They were.
Ooh, it's kind of rapid fire, kind of. Of the women that you guys have had relationships with, do they often fall more to your type or your husband's type, like in terms of appearance?
Oh, probably more my type. I don't know. Dark hair. I don't know. He's more flexible on like that. I'm like, there's certain people that I'm like, oh, I can't. I don't know.
I think that's every dude.
This leads
Yeah.
me to another question. Absolutely not rapid fire. So sorry.
It's okay.
But one of the things that we didn't really discuss was the physical component of your relationship within any of these dynamics.
Oh, okay.
And so tell us just a little bit about how that typically went for you. Did you guys find that it was always very natural and very easy and smooth, not awkward, and just it all contributed to a very enjoyable experience for everyone? Or did you run into bobbles, here and there, or that hesitation?
With like our original girlfriend, it was a little bit awkward. Just because I think I was the one that wanted to go like the most slow with things. And Brent was super eager, and then then I would be like more into it, and then she would be like, "Oh wait, this is too much," but we always like communicated pretty well. And then with like the last or like the two other relationships, it was very like natural, like it was very like organic and amazing. I don't know, like, and we have a good relationship, like just us, and it just brings like a whole like new wonderful part to the physical aspect. It's hard to describe, but
Yeah.
it's great.
No, we get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's that different layer of intimacy that
Yeah.
kind of gets revealed.
Yeah.
All right, rapid fire questions again.
Oh, okay.
How old were you first kiss?
14.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
How old were you first girl?
Oh, 16?
Okay. Place you want to live the most?
Oh, I don't know. Here? I don't know. I like it. I don't know. New York City? I don't know.
Very different places.
Very different.
Very drastically different.
I know. Well, because like my kids and I like their school here. So like once they're older and like that's not a factor, we could totally go somewhere else.
Such a mom answer.
I know.
It's so
These
adorable.
kids.
How actually that bounces me back to a question
Sure.
that is also not rapid fire, but
Okay.
that I wanted to ask earlier.
Yeah.
We're going to start just calling these cleanup questions.
Oh, okay.
They are. They're cleanup questions.
So how has motherhood impacted your sexual journey in all of this and your relationships and how you view yourself and all of those things?
It's definitely like led me to like grow like as just like an individual, because when you're a mom, or like this is how I feel, it's like everything is for the kids, and so this gives me back like what I want or like my desires. But there are times like when things have gotten more serious and I think, oh, should I like tell the kids? Like, are we ready for that? That is like a big question we have. But other than that, no, like it just gives me back something that wasn't lost, but it wasn't the time for that. And now it is the time for that.
Beautifully put.
Do you think going forward in the next relationship that you're to be more open about it and like to the public? I know because you've talked to us
Maybe.
about how brave we are, right?
You guys are.
We just couldn't hide it.
Yeah.
I know that it is, and thank you for all the kind words for it, but like honestly, we just couldn't hide it.
Right. it feels like lying, or like, and that's how I started to feel with like the most recent relationship. And so I don't even want to think of like what next. I'm almost like, is she gonna come back? I don't know. Like, I'm not even like past that. But I think if it was working, like, I'd be willing to be more open and public about it.
Yeah, because I imagine, given your circumstances of having relationships where they have let you guys down and, you know, ultimately left the dynamic to go pursue a more individual relationship for themselves, that there would be this fear that if you do introduce them to the kids, you're going to have somebody else, you know, step out of their lives.
Right.
And then it's not just you and he that have to clean up a certain amount of emotional heartbreak. Now you're exposing your kids to that. And that's certainly what I struggled with when we were first exploring, you know, what is this? How do we take this to the next level? Because clearly we can't deny our feelings. I was trying to date other people and I didn't have my head in it because my heart was clearly with them. And that's when it was like, okay, I mean, this is it. And I did a lot of research about, you know, how to tell the kiddo and when to tell him and, you know, all the pros and cons of going either way. Right. And ultimately, this was actually, I did this research, or part of it, when I first started dating again in general, because my first relationship post-divorce was a reasonably serious one. And I didn't know, you know, if I wanted to introduce them at any point. And ultimately, the new school of thought from child psychologists and therapists, multiples, not just one, is that kids go their whole life, you know, being exposed to temporary relationships, whether they get connected to their homeroom teacher, right? That concept of like, I have one teacher for every class, and then slowly that gets taken away from them, or every year they get a new teacher, or they have friends that move away, family members that pass away. And it is actually, in a way, a good thing to teach them about relationship permanence in that, while yes, the goal with most relationships is hopefully that they last as long as possible, but that even if a relationship is just short-lived, it can still be very, very valuable, and it doesn't take away from, you know, that value just because it didn't last forever. And that was something that I know, looking back on that relationship, I did introduce them, and they had a wonderful connection. And it was because it was fairly early on after my divorce. I think it was actually a relationship that my son really needed at the time and benefited a lot from. And then, yes, he was hurt when that relationship ended, but he also moved on pretty quickly. But I think he was stronger for having had that connection in the time. So it was very valuable for him too, not just me.
Yeah.
And so that gave me a lot of peace of mind in going into this situation of like, yes, of course, there's tons of uncertainty. We're navigating something that is new for all of us and that is very unconventional. But I know how strong my kiddo is and how he perceives the world and interacts with people. And I know that the benefit that he gets from knowing them and spending time with them and having them be a part of his life is so much stronger than the possibility than like delaying that introduction because of some foreseen possibility of a future risk.
Right.
You know, I'd rather have that foreseen possibility of a future risk of, you know, what he'd have to deal with on the other side than him miss out on the benefit of having them so involved in his life now at a very pivotal age where I know it's helpful and I know it's meaningful and I know it's valuable for him and for myself and for them and for our entire family dynamic. So take that as, you know, a tidbit of advice, I guess.
I would say like it's just like it's like a bonus person that cares for them. And like when we've talked about it in the past, it's just like another person to like love on them and have like a different relationship that benefits them. There's always going to be somebody at a game or an event that they're at, or they're going to have 2 or 3 adults that care for them, there to like cheer them on and support them. So it's always just like an addition of love.
Like my parents are high school sweethearts. And they've been together. They got married in '83, been together ever since. And growing up, it actually inhibited my sister and I at first in our relationships, because then we looked at it as, all right,
You're
the first
supposed
guy,
to.
the guy we meet at 16 is the guy we're going to be with forever.
Oh.
And we both were in relationships much longer and tolerated things we shouldn't have with that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
So I do think it helps kids to see, hey, here are different examples of relationships, ones that work good, some that don't work good. They all have different formations to the relationships, but it helps kids, I think, fight those what we think are supposed to be norms that don't actually always work out.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So that being said, going forward, I guess I'm curious to how that plays out, right? Because it's not only a consideration of all these things that we've talked about, but as time progresses and they get older and they understand more and they are in that stages of puberty and all those things, right?
No, they're there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I imagine
one is 13 and one is 10. So
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, we're in it.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those things of like, oh, now we have to address more of a side than just the, oh, we all love each other and we care for each other.
Yeah.
And now you're like, well, yeah, here's how we got here. So it's an interesting talk, right? So
For sure.
not an enviable position all the time.
No, it's funny because earlier in the year when the weather was nice and I was driving the Jeep with the doors and the top off, I picked up the kiddo from school and he gets in and he's like, why do you have a pride flag on your seat? Like, that's weird. And I looked at him and I was like, because you realize your mom and I are gay, right? And it was one of those, like, the light bulbs finally went off in his head of, oh, that applies to you and your dynamic? Oh, okay.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, Will just recently had to call him out on it again, where
He said something about like, oh, that's like they're gay for each other or something like that. It was like innocent, but it was like such a kid comment. And so I just look at him and I'm like, well, Paige
like
and
point,
I
right?
like point into the kitchen because we were over like for a movie night, and I was like, Paige and your mom are gay for each other.
Oh my goodness.
And he rolled his eyes so hard.
That's funny.
I'm trying to think of some more rapid fire questions. I think the clip emptied pretty quick.
Yeah. I was trying to be rapid. Yeah.
I know. You did such a great job. So I guess my final question is, when is the husband to come on? And I want to talk about more of the dynamic of
Like his side?
of his side and the perspective of what it was like from just like yours, right?
Yeah,
Such a young age. But not only that, but like the guilts and worries that you guys had as parents and as a married couple, because I know that I struggled with this idea of feeling like I was doing something wrong, or no different than you've talked about your thirds wanting their own families and things like that's conversation that we've had that I've struggled with, the things that we've talked about, and it is all about communication, good and bad. Yep. And so I want to pick his brain. So I want to have you back and I want him back.
Of course.
Ladies, anything else?
I do want to take a moment, since you did bring him up. I know that we've obviously shared many feelings and opinions on like the patriarchy and men in this area, but it has been really cool through this experience to see how many great men there have been out there, specifically ones where they're talking about, hey, they're in a couple and they're exploring. And for the most part, I expected it to be a lot more of these guys are just pushing this for their relationship. And it has been really rewarding to see how many men have put their insecurities aside and are doing this actually because their wives or partners are interested in exploring, their sexuality and their romantic interests, and have the ability to be a part of that and contribute to it, and not just be insecure and jealous about that. It's a huge shout out there. It's been a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And to
Love that.
Yeah. And to all those men out there thinking about this, just remember, stay hydrated. It's still be a lot of work, buddy.
And stretch.
And stretch.
That's true. You guys have to do a lot of work sometimes.
If you're doing it right, you are.
Yeah.
We all try to pull our weight. But yeah. He does most of the aerobic stuff.
And on that note, thank you for listening to Fourth Wheel Podcast. And thank you, Lex, for being here and being our fourth wheel today.
Thank you.
You've been amazing.
Yeah.
You are beautiful.
Thanks.
You're gracious.
I'll come back. Okay.
All right.
Real quick before we head out and wrap this up. As we all know, Cam is a wonderful TikTok star who is a dating coach and just personal life success coach. So we want her to plug what she's got.
So yeah, if you're not following me on TikTok, my handle is at relish.every.vibe. And Instagram is at Rev Dating. That's REV Dating. I do post most of my content on TikTok because I can post longer videos, and Instagram, I'm long-winded, so I can't get anything said in less than 90 seconds. But I will be starting a YouTube channel probably, just because I'm a little nervous that TikTok is going to get completely banned here in January.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I can officially monetize off of it. So if you do like my content and you do want to work with me, I work with singles. I work with those that are in relationships that are looking to explore non-traditional dynamics. I work with individuals that just want to regain their confidence so that they can enter the dating pool again if they are coming off a terrible breakup or divorce. And really, my coaching is highly personalized to the individual and their needs. It's never going to be cookie cutter. Fuck.
Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Yeah, it's definitely not one size fits all. But if you go to my website at revdating.com, I have a link there where you can request a free consultation for 30 minutes. And you should fill that out.
And for
I'm
all
so bad at this.
You're great.
And for all those that have found us because of Cam's TikTok, thank you from Paige and I, because I know that we don't really voice our thanks on there. So thank you.
Appreciate all of the support.
And if you've enjoyed this long-winded podcast, please like, subscribe, and comment, share, do all the things, because while we can sit here and talk about all these amazing relationships and love, we can only spread the word and the message and destigmatize it with your help and with getting this out there. So if you know someone who you think would benefit from this podcast, please share it, and feel free to reach out with questions or whatever you have in your heart. We want to hear it.